Hello, welcome to the English presentation for the Helium network. I have actually a German channel, and a lot of people asked me also by the comments or on Reddit or that I can make the presentation in English, so I follow that and it takes the time. The German presentation goes over 1 hour, so I try to be quick because my English anyway is not so good. Feel free to watch the first page, but it's not so necessary. You can grab the PDF file for free after the presentation, but if you want to use it for a YouTube video or for some own purpose, please donate something, because then you can have the presentation file and set it up how you want it. It's also good for people who gonna place a Helium hotspot in other places and need to explain maybe something, so you can use it, the file, and so you just transfer this to the funny email address where I got 𝙀𝙀𝙗𝙧𝙞𝙯@gmail.com with this hash from the Ethereum address. So I will talk about Helium in this presentation. What is and what can Helium do? The token Helium mine Helium, simply explained. So what's actually the use case of Helium, and what we can do with mining, the mining equipment and ordering process. I will compare different miners. I will explain you something. I will share my experience, how I had on the ordering process, and the radio frequency and the antenna. What is the rumors about the different to use 3 dBi, 4 dBi, 8 dBi, and the ROI, return of invest, for this Helium token. So let's start with first, what is Helium? The long-fi technology enables a huge range of the hotspots and enables the mobile phone costs to be reduced enormously. So the mobile providers, they send the data, not just the internet data, what we're using for Netflix, YouTube, and all the WhatsApp stuff. There is another small data like heating calculations for each householders. There is can be tracking devices on a bicycle in a city, or the scooters, and these data they today also go over the mobile phone network, and this is also in the end a huge data, and this data can go actually via the radio frequency through the Helium network. So the network is set up by people themselves, so it will be much more easier for a lot of governments in future to handle this data much more well. Not just governments, also of course companies, and use just the Helium. And the problem is there, for example, here in Switzerland, the company who is the main is Swisscom, and they already built on each roof some antennas, and they even pay the people 120k, as I heard, to have the right to build antenna on the roof, because they have not any more space in their network. So, and Helium is actually this solution to at least to share this another data is not over the mobile network. So I hope I could a little bit explain, but actually it's the people's network. We by our own create the network. So excuse me, there is a little bit, I had to translate everything in English, and it takes a lot of time, so I'm sorry, but the beautiness of this presentation is not well. So, and you can the best here watch the video, and maybe you understand it a little bit better.
We've all used Wi-Fi for stuff like this.
So adorable.
And cellular data for stuff like this.
𝙬𝙗𝙧𝙬𝙗.
Every day we connect to the internet, but it's not just people. From parking meters to packages, even these damn scooters. All these things should connect to the internet. Even this dog. Well, not the dog, but its collar. Seems like this little guy's lost. Luckily, he's got a smart collar on. But that smart collar isn't so smart without the internet. Cellular data plans can be pricey. It's not like Sean could just log into this cafe's Wi-Fi real quick.
Hey, I like your dog.
Oh, it's not my dog. I'm just using him to demonstrate a point.
What's your point?
Glad you asked. Wouldn't it make sense for all of these things to have their own internet? A network that works just for them, so they could always stay connected anywhere, anytime. That's the kind of future I want to live in. And guess what? We can. With the Helium hotspot.
Honey, who's that?
I'm the future.
It's, the future?
The Helium hotspot's a new kind of wireless device, where you and your community can create a network for the Internet of Things.
So like a Wi-Fi router?
No, it's long-fi. It reaches 200 times farther. But why would you put this in your house?
Glad you asked.
Well, you're helping to power a better future for the city you live in, building a community of connectivity, making all sorts of things possible that aren't today, like helping you find lost things, connecting to things that can tell you when your food's expired. That is expired. Even powering sensors that help detect wildfires, so people and their things can stay safe.
What else?
Isn't that enough? The whole thing about building a better future for your children and your children's children?
We don't have kids.
Well, for people who care about that sort of thing, you get rewarded helium tokens, a cryptocurrency as a thank you for building the network and enabling devices to connect. So any more questions?
Yeah, whose dog is this?
Yep. See, when the Internet of Things gets better, everything gets better. Even finding your dog. This yours.
Sean, thank you. Come here, buddy. Oh, thank you.
With the Helium hotspot, you're helping to create a more connected future.
What's helium?
So glad you asked. Every day, we connect to the internet. But it's not just people. So what else connects to the internet? I'm glad you asked.
So Helium can be used as, for example, as tracking the animals who are getting lost. If there is a big area in a country, let's talk about the radio frequency in different cities and villages. Give the all locations in the country a full supported network. The animals actually will be tracked everywhere. In a city, it's anyway working well. When you rent some scooters like Lime, that will be fine for to use the tracking service. Or as I already in the beginning explained, the micromobility devices, they are very common and used already today, exactly like the scooters or the kind of stuff like to send from the heating calculations. Then so the blockchain startups makes internet cheaper, like Slime Scooter and Nest as clients. So you can see there is already news 2 years ago. It's already long since 2019 the Helium community exists, and we are just coming now the big amount of people joining right now to the network, and it will be bigger. So 10 years later it will be really bigger than now. Helium token, the token is in circulation supply. He is growing, and the maximum supply is 223 millions of token. Circulation now is 77 millions of token. Keep in mind this amount will grow to the max supply, and the people who now mine, they need to have a return, and they gonna sell it as well. The price now is a high price, so if you any day will get $100, then it will be maybe this year by one Helium, and if you join fast to Helium, you can grab that profit. But I would tell on the long term, maybe the 2-3 years, I would think about $2-3, and in the same time the network grow. In the same time you got a good payout on the system. You have more opportunities. You can make more money. That's true, but the circulation supply also grows, so the price is gonna down anyway as well. And Helium, how it works, I want to bring it a little bit more closely from the technical part. So you can see here on the first that the miner connected to the network. This is the way to get already Helium. Just put the router, the hotspot on the electricity, and you set it with your app, and you don't need to make anything more than to connect the Helium hotspot with the electricity and give him some internet. So you have just connect to the World Wide Web. That's all. The second is you can already guarantee in your location to communicate with your router hotspot A to B, from A to B. So the B can be, for example, in another place, another location. It's very important that you have 300 meters minimum. It's in, I think, US you call it 1000 feet minimum the distance, so even better would be 350. Yeah, there is many internet tools who you can use to calculate the distance. You can ask some neighbor, you can ask some friend, and this is the way to earn around 20% more Helium than the 1% challenge. So I think there's like 18, 19 multiplayers like that on a Helium. So it would be like in the moment like 6 Heliums a month if you just connect it to the internet, and if you have a proof of coverage, then you have exactly it would be in my mind like around 120 Helium tokens. Then another important part is witnesses. You have a triangulation. The third hotspot will control, is A and B communicating? Are they really in their place? And if this third router can prove it, so you got a 9% more. And what will be in future, that will be the data transfer. In the moment there is no any data, this will come, and that will give another 30% in the long term tracking moving network. So I want to show just an example in Switzerland, in Zurich city. We have here one router who in the moment stay not with a lot of connected proof of coverage. But we have pretty much 4 or 5 connections per day, and you can see he have 7 Helium a day and 268 Helium a month. So that was probably around $3,000 US when the medium price from the couple of last weeks. He's connected with some miners, but it's a kind of also interesting that he grows since September last year 2000 Helium tokens, and he got like 25,000 K in a good price range of this token. So then the way to prove the connection is as I told, the communication between A and B. Router B connect with router C, router A connect with router C, and router C connect with router B, and router C connect with router A. And router C actually watch does A and B communicate. And the fourth part is that any router can be is there any tracking data who coming in. So I hope you're understanding. Is that right? Then we have different miners in ordering process. So there will be another video who you can watch if you just want to watch that video with the miners in cooperation. There will be another video out just from this actually part of that video who explain you the difference about the miners. The first miner who I choose is the free miner from RAK without risk. You can get it from Emrit. The only one negative from this order to Emrit is you have to share 80% with Emrit and 20% you have from the profit. So if you're gonna make 100 heliums, you're gonna give the Emrit 80 heliums, and they worth like over $1,000. In my mind, there's no sense, and there is a waiting list. I tried by myself to order. They always they see now that on my city there is no one, and they just automatically write me back, you are on the waiting list. I try to even explain them that I'm gonna make 50 or 100 orders and place them by myself around, but they're not really interested, and I think they are out of stock. I think maybe too much people ask, maybe they lose some miners. I have no idea, but I cannot really comment Emrit, so it's not a pleasure to work with them. So then there's a Bobcat indoor miner. This is the newest miner who is out. This is some YouTubers, they already got some miner. I also asked for them. That is of course a bit faster coming, that I can show you, that I also have some benefit from my YouTube channel, but really they not answer as well. So it's difficult to reach them. I think they're really busy with everything. I ordered my first one, got the number 4000. If I order my second one, I get already the order number 170,000. So I think they have a lot of orders, to be honest. The life span is 10 years of this device, so it's supposed to be a very good quality. I'm not gonna hear in details, I just make an easy video for to understand. There's a 4 dBi antenna with a magnet, so you can have for example put your miner near the balcony door on the wall, and around the door outside you can place the antenna if you have some magnetic wall, or maybe on the fridge, or I have no idea where you can use the magnetic, but you have a good antenna from 4 dBi. About antenna will come to speak later. This miner can give a 4G network 4G, so the network power is significant higher, and the 4G is important because in Switzerland we remove already 2G, and 3G is the lowest internet, and sometimes the connection is not really great. So with 4G you don't risk to losing connection. That's good if you have a 4G minimum inside. The signal range is up to 15 kilometers. I think that's gonna be 10 miles in USA. So or even more far you can go and reach a signal. Then if the position is good, you can go more even than 1.6 kilometers or 2 kilometers, 1.3, 1.5 miles for to go for to go find the from A to B, for A to B, kind of. So you will find between your location another miner who is near, or on your location 300-meter minimum you can connect with some another hotspot. And there is 2 kilometers. If you set the miner inside, it will go far enough. So if you're in a city, it's perfect. If you're somewhere in the land and you have no one another, then you anyway cannot use it really alone. So it's good for a city. Then the data security, it use only 5 watts. It's one of the lowest energy costs, really like $3-5 a year who you pay. And the data security is the IP address getting used for to transfer the data, and the connection with any future stuff with Helium. There is I think a good data security that nobody can go over the hotspot on your computer. The question is not really settled, but I think this is a good security inside this hotspot. Stable network communication. There is not losing traffic. Is when the data coming in, it's have a strong power to reach this data inside the hotspot and give it to the good Helium network, so you don't lose data. So as I know, when you just have a longer cable to your antenna, usually already that losing some dBi, and dBi is a radio frequency who transfers some data, and it's not usually so stable. It can be bad weather, or strong wind, stormy, and just because this you can losing data over this way. So then the radio network is not our stablest network in the world, but it have the lowest a kind of, how to tell, I need in German it's strahlen. I need to translate this word. It's really not easy. Rays, green rays, radioactivity would tell something like this. There's the less amount in all frequencies we have is over this radio frequency. So it's more healthy than any 5G, for example, or Wi-Fi network communication over the network, mobile network. So delivery time is a little shorter. They sent already from 8 weeks and 12 to 12 weeks. The thing is, the price is pretty much high for this miner. With the price, maybe too many useless futures, and when you make the payment, the ordering process, it's pretty much complicated to go over MogoPay. But I would tell a lot of people ask me, is it a scam? Helium, first of all, linked the site on their main webpage, and the payment procedure is now working. I ordered some. I had some confirmations, and let's see what it will be in the end. The weird stuff is I get some umbrella company from Mumbai in India who will deliver me this device. This is a little bit weird, but as I see, this is like drop shipping works. I checked this company. They have a 25 years experience in this area, so I don't think so that they scam out. But I think they really not want to stay behind their name. I think it's also connected with the government, because they shouldn't have something to do with cryptocurrency. I think they pretty much under the ground work to create something good for us, but you don't have any trust, not any guarantee. If the device not work, forget it. You just unlucky and you will not have a working spot. But it's existing. Some YouTubers showing it's working, and I think I order so much stuff from China, and I always receive as 97-98% I receive my delivery, and the products usually coming good, and the delivery cost is pretty much high for China. I expect that it will come by UPS or DHL, but that they come by drop shipping with a high price. That's a little bit sad to hear, but maybe it's a kind of a security, and a good high amount will find a good company who deliver that spots. This is the thing that I want to more explain about the Bobcat miner. So then Nebra indoor miner, I also ordered like the Bobcat, some of the Nebra indoor. There's a price, communicates up to a maximum of 10 kilometers in a good position, from A to B, 1.6 kilometers. Only 15 watt power, so a little bit more power use, but it's not high. Suitable for small hobby mining without additional purchases, so you can buy one if you're in the city, and that's enough. You have nothing more to do, and I really recommend that one if you don't want to have trouble, and if you want to have a trustful miner shop. Go to Nebra, use the link below in the YouTube channel. It will give 3% to me. For you it's changing nothing, there's no reduction for you, but you will support my work here, and you can have the indoor or the outdoor, and it's absolutely nothing about that. I would recommend honestly more the Bobcat from the quality, but if you want to be 100% sure, go over Nebra, or buying both, because if you want to grow, then it's better to buy around 3 or 4 miners. That's my recommend to you. It's as I told, it's in cities like New York, London, or Sydney or whatever. For cities, it's always good. If you are in a land place with a forest around, I wouldn't recommend. If you're an only lonely wolf and there's hills, this is not really that miner who I can recommend for that. So then the only one bad stuff is you have to wait long. That's already batch 5, batch 6, summer, 3rd quarter, from August, maybe September, you will have your batch. 3G network, that's the best thing. You cannot communicate with a strong network, and when you're out of the city, that's not really comfortable. And the 3 dBi antenna, yeah, it's not really, that's from my German presentation, it's not really bad. I will explain you later, but you for the city it's absolutely not bad, but if you are outside in a land, it can be bad if you have hills. Or for example, I think in San Francisco there's also bad, the city on the hills, Rio de Janeiro, or in Turkey, Alanya, or Istanbul, or some cities with hills, and that's never good. I think Los Angeles also have a lot of hills. So then the Nebra outdoor miner, who I also bought more than the indoor miners, because there's more benefits. The first is it's compact clip for outdoor. You can use it, already put it outdoor. It's weather protected. It's powering via Ethernet cable. You can just put the Ethernet cable. You don't need any more electricity. It's already connected with your Wi-Fi router. It's communicate a maximum of 10 kilometers in the triangulation. So I think it must be anyway good for the witnesses. So anyway, I think even more than 8 miles. I think 7-8 miles. I think there's 10-12 miles as well. It's always depend the weather and the landscape, if you have hills or not. So in a good position, it comes also like actually the Bobcat miner, I would tell, and it have 18 watt power, so that's a little bit this miner who used the highest, but it's still cheap. It's nothing. It's suitable for network expansion. So if you want to order more miner, grow your network, make a serious stuff, so this I can recommend you the Nebra one outdoor. If you really want to go make multiple villages around you or cities, I recommend you that one. Then you can have a good material. It's not plastics, aluminum, and it's 4G expandable. So you can, on the link below, it's not a referral link, it's just someone who I pick in AliExpress. He's pretty much sold out very often, but you can find there some 4G cards 3 times cheaper than in US or UK or Europe shops, and you can order this from AliExpress. The link you will find in PDF file. The only one cool stuff is also that you can use, for example, an 8 dBi antenna in the land and put it directly by a small cable on the roof or somewhere else outside. You can use this miner independent by a 4G slot. You don't need to connect with a Wi-Fi router. This is pretty much a good independent flexible miner, so that's why it's one of my favorite. Next for the use case, for the grow, it's actually my favorite one. Then also here the 3 dBi antenna, it's for outside not so recommend, but for on the land. But if you would put it on the balcony in a city, it's enough. You don't need to care about that. This is absolutely enough, this antenna. And it's pretty much expensive, and for some regions, I think in Europe, I would tell the miner would come much more quicker than the indoor miner. In USA, I don't know, but if you go to Nebra, you can see the orders are more high to the indoor than to the outdoor miner. Then to the RAK, I don't use it. I don't order it. It's cheapest price. A lot of US citizens have it. I think it's about also the price and experience with this miner, because this miner was also used for another cryptos to mine. It communicates also as well like Nebra. It's have only 5 watt power. It's suitable for network expansion or startup. It's also a very flexible miner. You can do if you have a little bit experience with to set some miner, you can by yourself do a lot. It's also good to live in a city. It's really enough also. You have that. The only one thing is they have pretty much problem with the stability. I told you the radio frequency is not stable network, and sometimes the data was not coming very well to the device, and that gave some problems. And the delivery is, I think, just in the third part of the year quartal. It's after September. It's depending on the situation. It's come here around one, I would tell, in also 1 kilometer, like 1 mile maybe, or 0.8 mile. With this antenna, the antenna is not really for big distances, but in a city, as I told, it's enough. So then we have also a new one, Synchrobit. I have no idea about that one. There's I don't order it. I can just from the data show you it's a delivery. They supposed to be very fast. There's not a lot of orders. the price is good, and it's pretty much new, modern. Communication is very good also, like Nebra. It have just 12 watt power. Oh, as I see, it's now everything in German, eh? There. So okay, you can have a little bit German. I mean, why not? So learn a little bit German here. It's used for a small hobby mining. It's for urban cities as well. The possibility, die Möglichkeit für Outdoor Mining, Protection, Schutz. Wenig bekannt, less popular, and I think it's have just a 3 dBi. There's nothing I saw about if it's come with antenna, and you can somehow also use it for outside. It's flexible miner. It's not bad at all, but I have no idea. There's not much about this miner. So there is again some comparison, or how it called. I compare it a kind of Emrit. So you can just see here the price is free. Cost and loss means free, and the rest is in English translated, so you can watch by your own and make your own picture. Abbestellmöglichkeiten, possibilities to order. So maybe a quick coffee and a break. So I'm talking a lot of informations. Grab some coffee, come back, make a stop, and it will be a big finish with some another information. See you. So the use of the antenna via radio frequency, to explain the ultra high frequency and the radio frequency. So you can see if people's for example using the 3 dBi 4 dBi antenna, this is the blue strips. They have less range in the connection, but the blue one are much more in a volume on a frequency around 360 degree, and they are not can reach so far the hotspots and communicate far with each other. So that's example from Zurich city, and outside from the main city there is some villages, and if you have to go to connect with some village or with some region who is maybe probably a little bit higher with the hills, it's a little bit over the sea, some meters, some feet, so then you need to use a ultra high frequency antenna, or 8 dBi for example, what is in a legal area, and you came much more far with that. But there is just a strip from one place to another place, and there is not so much degree which is covered, so you will not be able to connect with a lot of miners in this moment. So a little bit the history about radio frequency. Oh, this again German, I'm so sorry, there I wasn't connect. So in 1880 entdeckte, so 1880 entdeckte, discovered the physic Heinrich Hertz the radio waves, and he confirmed that the electromagnetic field on our planet give waves, a kind of not waves, there's vibrations, and if you give electric power on that vibrations, you will be able with the antenna for example to use these vibrations to transfer the data. So this is a kind of the the main why the data is transferring actually. So the magnetic field is every day under our feet, and by bring these vibrations on these magnetic fields, you will have the data by the hotspots through the antenna. So this is actually the LoRa technology allows to have a bigger range, and this is a more for to use that power of our planet more successful and bring this magnetic and use these magnetic fields more better. So you can see for which area the LoRa technology is made. This is, for example, in the healthcare, the agriculture, industrial sector, different data from the home and buildings, like the heating costs between cities, let's tell like the traffic lights, the supply chain and logistics in the company, etc., etc. So this is used for a lot of sectors, and this technology allows to communicate much more far than with a basic usual antenna. So actually some tips from my side that you can have the best possibility to put your antenna indoor and outdoor. So first of all, placing in an ideal location at the window, in open view, and avoid also up on a hill is also good, but avoid it that you are just down on the hill, and over the hill is the next village, and the signal cannot go over the hill, because maybe the hill it's too much big. You have to care that the landscape is without a lot of hills. It have to be again it have to be flat. So avoid objects blocking signals. That can be iron, that can be another antennas from another network. The best would be a line of sights freestanding and high, in any case 1.5 meters from the ground. If you put the antenna on the wall, just 1.5 meters distance from the ground, and around 2 meters, 3 meters from your wall, a little bit half free, or half meter away from metal walls as minimum, etc. So for the multi-story buildings, so if you have big buildings with a lot of neighbors, the antenna is supposed to be 45 degree diagonally on the wall, set it away from the printer, microwaves, and WLAN devices. So you shouldn't put the WLAN just near the hotspot. So the Ethernet cable is supposed to be, if you use, for example, an outdoor Nebra, supposed to be a little bit more far away. If you use the Nebra with a SIM card, that's not a problem. So, and then I need to see if there is something more. Yeah, so what's about to upgrade the antenna, for example, to 8 dBi outdoor. So if you have the opportunity to mount an antenna higher outdoors, you can buy an 8 dBi LoRa antenna from around 15 euros, or as I say, also depend on the store, but when you have a better quality, you're paying around $80. However, fiberglass would be the best quality and it cost a little more. The point is the higher the DBI does not necessarily mean that you will find more miners. So it depends where you live, county, town, or in the town. So it's this is not really true when you for example now live in a town and you think you can buy your 8 dBi antenna, then higher then better it is. No, absolutely not. You just will risk that you can maybe in a 30-degree range from the radio frequency laser, you can just lasering the miners who in one direction and in this degree direction. So you will miss a lot of different miners around you. So then it's better to have a 3 or 2 or 4 dBi antenna where you will have enough miners who you can take. So the best range is from 300 to 500 meters around you that you can connect with the proof of coverage, and you get the most fully helium tokens by have this distance. And for this exactly you not need to have an additional antenna. If you're in a village, yes, who you want to reach the next village, for the moment, yes, I would recommend to buy 8 dBi, or if you're somehow higher and around you a lot of villages, yes, I can also advise you, if they're a little bit more far away, more than 1.5 miles or 1 mile, then I can recommend you to buy this antenna. Then it's pretty much because the danger of lightning necessary that you grounding the antenna when you buy one. The cable should then shorter and better. You can watch another YouTube videos. This good explanation. You can lose data if you have a long cable to your antenna. So a kind of element of a basic antenna for outdoors. That's actually basic. How it looks if you have a distance of 1000 feet, just a basic one. We don't speaking here about the LoRa antenna. You will have with 9 meters a kind of must be, yes, exactly. This is frequency in Europe, for example. You will have if you're 9 meters high, you have a distance of 1000 meters. Then higher, then more distance you have, a kind of. But it's not means that your coverage is better. So you can see. Let's talk about. A LoRa is absolutely walking another. So if you in a city, it's not possible that you have just 200 meters. You have much more, but that would be the standard. But just to see if you let's talk in a building already have 9 meters up an antenna who is basic, who can make 1000 feet. I think there will be much more possibility with a LoRa antenna. So I'm speaking about maybe 30 kilometers, 30 miles, something like this. So again, for the outdoor use, this is a kind of let's talk. I'm living in the first floor. I still supposed to have from the ground 1.5 feet away. Put it on the wall, on the table. And 20 centimeters, or the best half feet distance from the wall. So, and the goal will be, as I told, safe 3 till 500 meters in the radius of a lonely wolf. So it's a kind of better than to be alone. you're supposed to be connect with a second device. Return of investment and the value of the Helium token use case. So until August 2021 there are still 5 million Helium tokens in distribution, and after there comes the halving. So that means actually you get just the half of outcoming Helium bonuses for the network, but in the same time there is more request, and there's more miners, and there's more possibility to have a coverage, and in the same moment the price is going higher, and I think we will not feel it so strong. Maybe it can be also an opposite. Maybe we will feel it stronger because there will be more peoples around and they will eat you proof of coverage, and I'm thinking there is coming maybe, I don't know, 1-2 million new devices on the market. I'm just reading that there is just 25,000 miners. I'm honestly believe there can be 1-2 million miners soon around the world, and I think that that's eating much more profit. I'm not thinking that it will be long that we can have such a good profit than now, but if the price is going up to $200 per Helium, then maybe we will not feel that difference. Simply by connecting to the network, you currently generate around, I would tell now more, 6 Helium tokens, and by the halving it would be in this case 3 Helium tokens. The return of invest, let's set the price on $20 after approximately 3 months per Helium token. So you have $20 on, let's tell, 100 Helium tokens a month. You got 2000K, and I think that would be in the beginning pretty much helpful for you. And I think in 1 month, if you have 2 miners or 3 miners around you, I think you already have your return of invest, because I see in my area people who get 100 Helium tokens in the moment for every month, and I think that will this year be continue, and from September already start to decrease less. So, and if the 4th point comes, is here in the green letters, not good visible, I'm sorry, the e-scooter or animal who you can track, or heating devices who set the data. In the future you got 30% coverage, so for the long term I would see there also in the investment to tell the Bobcat miner, or an expensive miner who can have 10 years working guarantee. I think the investment worth every coin in the moment. So this is a kind of the full presentation. If you have questions, answer in YouTube on the comments, and I hope you're gonna thumbs up. It's my first English video here for the YouTube channel. I hope there is a time for you to set a like for that video. That would be nice from you. To share it with your friends on WhatsApp, on Telegram. They can find here all. You don't have to watch all the video. It's enough when you go to the links and watch the information. So there will be self-study a little bit to see where or on what you have to look, where you can, should you have an antenna or not an antenna, what is my area, from in which place I live, is there any possibilities maybe already that there will be another person. I would recommend you to go to Discord, check it out, make a little bit exchange, make a WhatsApp group with some people, with you, some friends, and any information you will find here. It would be nice to use if you anyway gonna in Nebra buy some miners. Go over the Nebra link. That would be good to have paid my time on this video, on this presentation, and I hope see you another time.